What's going on? Petey and I here want to talk about a little bit of safety. Yeah, I don't normally get into that. But a couple things happened yesterday that were horrifying. A man lost his life at a sand yard yesterday. Now, I don't know all the details, but I can just tell you what happened to me when I was there at that particular sand yard. There's Petey. I pulled up to the safety racks where this particular sand yard, I bet you they don't do it anymore, opens your box for you. Sorry, Petey is just all wanting to be all the attention. Huh, Petey? Where they open the box for you. And here, I'll show you a picture of what they look like. Now, that's an old picture. That's out of the sand yard where this incident happened. Now, what happened with me is you pull in, you give your information, and then they tell you what channel to be on, because you're going to go around and get loaded. But first, you have to go get your box open because they want to open your box. Or can, or whatever. So I pull up, and this happened the same day that the person lost their life. But anyway, I pull up like I always do. I've done a bunch of times. And I set the parking brake. Now keep in mind, the horrible incident that happened didn't happen with me. I'm telling you what happened while I was there, just a little bit beforehand. I don't know for certain if it's the same guy that had the incident with, whatever. Well, anyway, let's retrack. I pull up, I set my brake. Now, me personally, when I set my brake for them to open the lid, I open the door and I get out of the truck and I stand on the steps. Now, I do that so I can see them with my eyes and not through the mirror. You can see them through the mirror when they're doing it, but so I set the brake, I get on the step, and I look and make sure that everything's okay. Well, he couldn't figure out how, I think he was scared, honestly. He couldn't figure out how to pick the stairs up high enough to close the lid, to open the lid, because I was probably parked goofy or whatever, because the way I pulled in. And I took it that he didn't know anything doing. He didn't know what he was doing. So he was having trouble getting the lid open, and I just said, hey, just stop. Don't worry about it. I'll get it. Just get off of there. And he said, okay. So he got off the trailer and pulled the thing back. I got back in the truck, released my air brakes, and pulled up a little bit, and then another truck kind of got in my way, so I couldn't move. So I stopped. Now, the truck moves out of the way so I can go. I just happen, by the grace of God, to look at my spot mirror and see that that kid had just put the doggone the safety cage down on top of my trailer, and he was on top of my daggone box. As soon as I'd seen that, I was like, oh my God. So I popped the brake, jump out of the truck, and say, what are you doing? I didn't know you were up there. Don't get up on my truck. Don't get on my truck when I don't know. He looked at me dumbfounded. Okay. I told him you could get hurt or killed or whatever, because I didn't know you were up there. He said he was sorry, opened the lid and got off. I pulled around, got my sand, come back in, come back over, and you pull on the other side. You pull on the other side, they put the safety cage down, and they have to get a sand sample. He threw me a sand sample, shut the lid. I said, hey, take it easy, and I left. Today, I find out that at that sand yard, somebody died. First thing that went through my head was that incident that I had. And only thing I know for sure is that the guy was on top of a truck and the truck pulled away. He fell off of the truck because, it has no floor. It's just a cage around you. Nothing's underneath you, of course, because it's made so you can get on top of your box or can and open the lid. The truck pulled away. He fell off the box, and the truck ran him over, and he died. Now, that's the details that I have, that I know of, that I have been told. That the sand yard shut down, and it happened a short time after I left, so it's a pretty good chance it was that kid that I talked to. He's just some guy. Whether it was him or was the guy in the next shift, it doesn't matter. It's just a guy opening, closing lids on top of sand cans and sand boxes, making probably nothing. I have decided for myself that no one will ever get on top of my sand can or sand box or any piece of equipment that I am operating. No one will. I'll be the one to do it. I'd rather open my lid anyway. But it's just, the whole thing, it's awful. It's awful. Some guy's just doing his job, and now he's no longer with us, and the driver has to live with that the rest of his life. And there's a good chance there was a driver behind him, and he has to live with it, seeing that for the rest of his life. It's a crowded place. It's a busy place. So there's a good chance that a lot of people are affected by this happening. I mean, it didn't directly happen to me, but it impacted me because it could have been me. I'm not making it about myself. It's just, it very easily could have been me. It's dangerous out here. Be extra careful. If you're scared, don't come here. Prayers for that kid's family or man's family. But just be safe, folks. Take your time. Make sure there's no one on top of your equipment. That's not something that any of us want to live with, for sure. That's all I got for now. Y'all take it easy.